Welcome back to Hot Takes and Deep Dives, and my next guest is one half of the pod Seek Treatment. She is the star of her own Netflix special and is about to tour the world. Hi, Catherine Cohen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
You were just a little concerned that I might be recording video because you just got back from the gym.
Yes, well, I'm actually on a running journey. I'm getting back into jogging.
So were you running outside or were you running on a treadmill?
Yeah, actually, today I ran outside because it's very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been outside?
I have been outside.
It's stunning. I tried to go to the gym, but I just hate it in there. I feel self-conscious. I'm like, why is everyone looking at me? They're not, but I get really I hate
promise you, they're not at all.
I know, but it's such a bad vibe in there. Do you like the gym?
I'm a class person. So
that's even worse. I'm like so self-conscious. I can't.
So obviously like Pat Regan, your best friend, co-host, he is abnormally obsessed with his just regular gym. I totally understand being part of a cult, like the cult of Soul Cycle, or like I've been there. That has been my lifestyle and my journey. But to be obsessed with an actual gym, like to me all gyms are gross.
I know. I even go to fancy gym. I go to Equinox, but no amount of fancy can make me want to go there apparently.
Why did you choose Equinox?
Well, because I was like, maybe if I pay for a really expensive fancy thing, I'll want to go there. It works sometimes. Like in the winter, I guess it's nice to steam. Shout out to the steam room. But it just feels like such an ordeal.
So sometimes my friends will guest me into Equinox to take like a particular yoga class. Like,
okay,
I used to belong to
which one do you like? Is there a specific class you like or something, or just to go?
No. So this is what happened. So I used to belong to Laughing Lotus.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Which I actually want to do a whole documentary about. I actually want to do.
Is that the one in Williamsburg, or where is that?
Laughing Lotus was on 19th between 5th and 6th. It was the greatest yoga studio. Like it was kind of very cultish. Like all the instructors had their own brand of cult-like fever, and of course that all traveled up to like the head of Laughing Lotus, who was her own wacky cult-like figure. And
I love that.
She got canceled in the pandemic.
Okay.
For like reasons we can't get into. Save it for the documentary.
Okay.
So
I need the doc.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the. It's actually want to be my next big project, I think.
Oh my God, you should. Wait, I have to ask you about your scarf because I'm having biter mine off with that scarf.
You're having what?
Do you know about biter mine off?
Tell me.
I think I'm saying it right. It's when you like learn about something or you see something and then you start seeing it all the time, everywhere.
Oh, so it's like it's black and white with skulls.
I keep seeing that scarf.
Really?
Is that a bad omen?
No, I think it's a great omen.
I keep seeing a skull scarf. Skull scarf. Say that 10 times.
Well, skulls on piece of clothing, that is a popular motif.
Interesting. I'm just trying to be open to signs from the universe. So shout out universe. I wonder what you're trying to tell me.
I think you should get it. If you
maybe,
see
maybe
I mean, it's a cute scarf. Like, look.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thank you.
You're rocking it.
So long story short, with Laughing Lotus, so that place closed in the pandemic, and all of those instructors now they kind of disperse to different, some are at Equinox, some are at Pure Yoga, and I'm not gonna pay $1 million a month to like go to the yoga class twice a month.
Right, so that's what I do.
So my friends, but the trick around it is to become either friends with people who have Equinox memberships, or better yet, become friends with the instructors, and they will fully just guest you in.
Oh, that's amazing. Really good to know.
Shout out like Allie Kramer at Equinox. Like,
shout out Allie.
Kramer.
Which one? Which location?
They travel.
But you really like her class.
She's incredible, although she can't be she's not at her full powers at Equinox, because I think Equinox, even in the yoga classes, there's no ambiance. It's just like 4 white walls. Like there's not even a fucking candle. Not a goddamn candle.
I know. Because I was going to ask you, what makes a good yoga instructor, do you feel?
I think it's the preaching. I think it's the spirituality. Mm-hmm. It's what they say. It's not the poses.
Totally.
I think. I had another yoga. Are you a Madonna fan at all?
Sure. I mean, in the sense that like She's an icon.
I may cut this out because this is so dumb. So there's this other yoga instructor who, again, he used to teach at Laughing Lotus. Now he's at another studio. His name is Victor, but this to give you an example of like how kind of wacky the instructors are. So Madonna's last studio album was called Madam X. Are you familiar with this? And she would like she'd wear an eye patch and do a whole thing and call.
I'm not familiar with this.
Okay, we'll just go with it. This is true.
Okay, cool.
He literally, you know how when you look at classes, it shows the instructor name? He literally changed his name on the instructor schedule to Madam X for like 5 years. Like it's like still like that. But it's funny because in my mind, I could really see you, especially in the heyday. You were never like a Soul Cycle person.
No, I went once, and I went with both my parents, and I sat in between them, and it was such a weird vibe. And we all agreed that it was too loud, and it stressed me out.
How do you wind up at a Soul Cycle class in between your two parents?
I must have been in college on Christmas break, and we were all like, let's try Soul Cycle together. And it was just the weirdest vibe. We were all laughing. I felt like I was going to fall off. Spin is not for me.
Were you in New York City?
No, I was where I'm from. I'm from Houston. I was in Houston.
Oh, that's the first problem. Okay.
Do you think? I don't know. I don't know about spin because I don't like being hunched over like that.
Well, I just wouldn't go to Soul Cycle in Houston.
Really? Why?
I don't know, because it's all based on the instructor and like who are they?
Okay.
So I'm a huge fan of Seek Treatment.
Thank you.
I told Pat like I love the theme song, and he told me you recorded it in your closet.
I did. I did. Yes. I did.
Now, did you like?
When did you have Pat on?
Pat was on November of this year. We did it. Yeah. We did it in person at my apartment. It was either October or November. He was here for shows, and so we did it. Yeah.
Yes, I used to have this apartment that had like a big closet, and so I turned it into a little voiceover studio. But I mean, that's very generous. It was essentially a closet.
Your New York City apartment, if it's still the same one, is actually featured on apartmenttherapy.com.
Oh my God. Yes. Well, that's my old apartment, but I still live in the same building.
So you live in the West Village. What I love about this is that it seems like you're slowly cobbling together all of the apartments in the building.
Yes.
And like your family and our friends in there too.
Yeah. So I moved into that apartment that was on apartment therapy. And then slowly over the past few years, like anytime someone moved out, I'd be like, okay, what's going on? And I would reach out to the landlord, and then I convinced both my brothers to move into the building. But yeah, and then I'm keeping my eyes peeled for one for my cousin. Like it's a family affair. We're just renting, but I'm hoping that one day if we rent enough of them, we'll just like take over.
Do you want to stay in that apartment forever?
You know, I love this apartment so much. My boyfriend's about to move in, and it's not really big enough for two people, but it's such a good apartment that we're just going to try and make it work. But eventually I'd love to have a 2-bedroom apartment. That's the American dream, of course.
Do you have a good deal?
I have an amazing deal. For a 1-bedroom, it's big, and the location, it's heaven. I'm very lucky. What part of town are you in?
I'm in the Village also, but I'm a little, okay. But I'm not, you're like deep in the West Village. I'm a bit more like Greenwich Village, like NYU area.
Your NYU vibes.
Yeah.
Love it.
The best.
We take my brother's dog to the Washington Square dog park, and it's like just so great.
When you used to do Seek Treatment, so now you're in studio, you record in LA, and I want to understand the whole process because you batch episodes, which is an insane thing to do with podcasting. I want to talk about this with you, but the journey to get this. So you used to record like fully horizontal, laying down.
We've recorded in so many different situations. Like we used to have a studio years ago, and then there was the pandemic, and then we were recording on Zoom, and then I was on my couch, and then I was like in a hotel room bed in Iceland, and then I was recording like on the floor in Argentina. And I remember like I was in Greece, and I made like a little fort with like a couch pillow and a duvet, and I recorded there. Like it's been a journey. And now we are with HeadGum, and they have an amazing studio in LA. They have one here too, but Pat has moved to LA, and I've been there more than he's been here, so it's not ideal. Like I don't want to batch episodes. Obviously, in a perfect world, we'd be like, we go in every time this week, but our schedules are just too messy.
The biggest difference, aside from the fact that Pat's audio is finally intelligible, that is the biggest difference. The second biggest difference is now you're on video.
I know.
Does it change? Here's my question. Are you remaining humble in your approach to...
Yeah, I know
you know what I'm saying.
The first few episodes, I like did my makeup and tried to dress cute. And then by the end, I was like, wait, I'm actually just showing, like, I don't have time for this. I'm showing up like in my gym clothes, in a hat. Like, I wanted to do video because I thought it'd be a good way to like, I mean, honestly, to pull clips for social and try and like get more people listening to the podcast. But in general, I do think it's better for the podcast to not have all that, for it just to be like a conversation. But I think it's like, it's just become a thing now. Like everyone expects you to have video. So we're just trying it out and seeing how it goes. But I do sometimes feel like more self-conscious about things that I say on video as opposed to just like talking shit into a mic with my friend. You know what I mean?
I'm a big proponent of in person. Like I think in person, the chemistry is always better. But if you then add cameras, subconsciously, you are different.
Yeah.
There's an additional awareness that and of course you're being filmed, you're being recorded no matter what, cameras or not, if you're recording a podcast. But there is a way, if the conversation is so fun and if you're able to like let down your guard, like I've had people be like, oh, this didn't even feel like we were recording anything.
Right.
But if you then add cameras, like no matter what, you're going to be futzing with the way you sit, like how is this looking on camera?
I think with video too, there's more of a pressure to like make it interesting or funny. Whereas like, I mean, I not this is good, but there'd be full episodes of us talking where I'm like, neither of us is even trying to be funny or interesting. I can't believe anyone listens to this. This is such garbage. But for some reason, when you have those resources of like a studio, you're like, okay, we better put on a show.
Interview magazine described Seek treatment as they said they discuss boy and body problems with an addictive combination of sarcasm, lobotomy and earnest yearning. Now I want to focus on lobotomy.
That's beautiful.
Lobotomy comedy. What is lobotomy comedy?
I love that. I think it's just like I don't know. I mean, it's just like being silly with your friend. And like Pat and I will get on a wavelength where we're like jumping from A to Z in a way that makes perfect sense to us, but sounds so stupid.
It's almost like you each will monologue. You'll each go on soliloquies, but they don't intersect. Like you're each having a conversation with yourself and sometimes they'll cross over.
That's so funny. Yeah, we cannot keep a train of thought going to save our lives. That's also lobotomy. Like it's like we're talking about 17 different things. We haven't finished a single complete thought. Like we're trying to tell a story. Like a story never gets told on Seek Treatment. It's like you try to tell a story and then it's like you're talking about like Kool-Aid and yogurt. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Now, something I find really interesting about you. So you talk a lot about your boyfriend, Brian, who's like seems like a great guy. I think it's so interesting that the way you met was you were in a previous relationship that was open.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
Why did you open that relationship?
Because I didn't know what I was feeling and I wanted to have sex with other people and I couldn't. At that point, when you're in a relationship, you can't fathom that you would need to break up. You like you're like so in denial. You're just like, well, we're not having a lot of sex, so maybe we should open a relationship. Yeah, of course. Not like, oh, why aren't we having sex anymore? Maybe we don't want to be dating anymore. Why are we doing this? Maybe we should break up. So I was just kind of in denial. I think it's a classic move, and it seemed fun, and it was fun. And then at first I just met guys who I'm like, this is perfect because like we're sleeping together, but I would never want to date them. And then I met Brian and I was like, wait, I'm in love with him. And then I was like, fuck, I have to end my relationship and go through all this turmoil.
So, let me tell you something. My really good friend and her wife, they did the exact same thing and they're now actually splitting. Wait,
what do you mean?
Exact story.
Oh, they opened and now they're splitting.
Yeah, except they were married. They are married.
Damn, that's so sad.
And I was so confused the whole time. I didn't understand why they were open. I'm like, I don't understand. Like you guys, and then cut to they confide in me that like, oh yeah, like we're not sexually compatible.
Yeah.
It's like I think with men, open relationships with men work because it's transactional. They're not like looking to have full-blown relationships with
Yeah.
other guys most of the time. But I think when it comes to women, you are going to fall in love.
I think definitely for me personally, I'm like, it's hard for me not to fall in love with someone I'm having sex with. Like if I want to have sex with you more than once, I'm gonna develop feelings. Sure, there's definitely been one night stands where I'm like, that was fun. I never need to see you again. Leave me alone. But usually if I'm like attracted to someone and I'm having a good night, I'm like, oh, I want to see them again.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
So how many apartments in this West Village building that you're now co-opting into your own like friend's apartment building? How many units have you lived in the building?
I've lived in two.
And so the one that was featured on Apartment Therapy is the one with the mini fridge. Do you still have the mini fridge or do you have full size?
Thank you for noticing. I moved because I upgraded to a full fridge.
Oh, that's huge.
I know I have a full fridge, still no dishwasher or anything like that, but a full fridge with with the mini fridge you don't have a freezer, so I couldn't have ice cream, and now I can have ice cream whenever I want.
Dishwashers, I have to say, okay, when you don't have one, it's all you want in the world. But as somebody who's had a dishwasher for like, can I tell you, I don't use it. By the time, because by the time, it's quicker to just do the dishes by hand. You're done.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
you're blowing my mind.
You have to do the whole thing. You have to like run the load, and then you have to let it like drip dry. And also, by the way, half the time they don't even clean the dishes. It does not even working. Like I take
That's a shame.
things out of there. I'm like, this is I could never like give this glass to somebody to drink out of.
Right.
It looks dirty.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It seems like it's a fantasy of mine, but I'm not in a rush.
I want to ask you about this. So, a friend of mine, Jared Freed, comedian. Are you familiar with him?
Love
Oh,
him.
great. So, I know him quite well, and I want to find out how close or divergent your journeys to a Netflix special were. So, Jared's story is he self-financed his special. He filmed a special at the Gramercy Theater. He made sure that, he hired the correct cameras that they used for Netflix to make sure that there were no holes that could be poked and like, oh, you didn't use the right cameras, or oh, the lighting wasn't right. He filmed the special and then he shopped it around to every single streamer. Netflix eventually bought it in August and aired it. It seems like you can either go that road, like taking it into your own hands, you have to self-finance and hope that it pays off. Otherwise, comedians will put their stuff on YouTube, which I don't know how much money you make back from that. It's certainly not, you don't get the exposure the way you would do on a streamer. So I'm curious for you with your Netflix special, did you self-finance or did Netflix put up the money?
No, I think what Jared did is becoming a lot more common, unfortunately, because I think we shouldn't have to do that. I didn't do that because I got the offer to do my special a few years ago. It's like before the pandemic. So I think it was just different back then. Like a lot of streamers were doing what you'd expect, which is like, we want to make a special with you. We're going to pay you. We're going to put it up. But now my understanding is I talked to most of my friends and yeah, that's what you have to do. Like make it yourself. I mean, it's crazy.
And shop it around.
It's crazy. Artists should be paid for what they do. It's ridiculous.
Can you kind of talk about the Edinburgh Fringe Festival? Because I feel like this is.
Have you been?
I've not been, but I really want to
go.
So
cool.
Explain the concept of it for anybody who hasn't been, and also what it's like for an artist.
It's like the biggest arts festival in the world, and people just come from all over, and it's a month long, and basically every venue in town, restaurant, bar, theater, school, gym, closet turns into a theater, and they put up shows, basically 24 hours a day. And during the month of August, the population of the city triples. Like everyone comes to Edinburgh for this festival. I have chills thinking about it. It's just so magical. Anyone can go. I had some friends in London who it's more common to go, obviously, because you're closer over there. And I'd made some friends in London who helped connect me with some producers who put my show up in 2019, which was so lucky. Yeah, so I went over you go over there for a month. You do a show basically every night.
Wait, you go for a month?
Yeah, it's a month long.
Oh, I thought you just do like 2 or 3 gigs.
No, you do like 28.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. This I did not know.
Yeah. So,
oh my God. Okay.
You don't have to, but the traditional thing is, you go for the whole month. You do a show every night. Everyone gets like 1 or 2 nights off a month. So you do I think I did my show like 28 times or something. And then everyone writes a new show and does it again the next year. I have not done that. I feel like I've taken breaks. I'm going to go this year with my show.
Damn. And it's not only comedians, it's also musicians. Like,
oh yeah, it's
types
it's
of
lots of comedians. There's full plays, operas, dance, a lot of circus, like performance art, like super weird stuff you wouldn't see anywhere else. It's so fun. And then like obviously there's like parties that go all night and like, giant tents and lots of beer and it's so fun.
That's so great. I know you lived in London when you were like a little kid.
I did.
But, and it's interesting to me that you grew up in Texas. It's like, to me, you're such a New Yorker.
I know.
That like, it's
too.
so funny to me that I can't
I was born here, if it helps.
Oh, you were born here.
My parents met here and I was born here. And then we moved to London for like a year or two just for my dad's job. And then ended up back in Texas because that's where my mom's from.
Okay.
So that's where I was raised. But yeah, I definitely was raised in Houston because I lived there from, age 5 to 18. So that's like...
I thought you were like full Jew.
I know.
Cohen.
I'm only half.
So imagine my surprise when I found that you were like a church goer. You were like
so
full-blown
weird.
church cult member.
It's hard to explain. Like when you grow up in Texas, like that's just what everyone does. Like it's the cool... It was the cool thing to do. Was like to go to church, to go to these religious summer camps. Like I didn't think anything of it because I was like, well, all my friends are doing this. Of course I'm going to do it. And because my mom's Catholic, we had to be like confirmed Catholic, all this. It was such a crazy part of my life. And then I was able to sort of renounce it when I went to college, thankfully.
Like, for example, when I watch your special, and by the way, I've seen you at the Duplex. I've seen you at Club Cumming.
God. Thank you so much.
Club Cumming, like, is very, when you do your show there, it very much is like people are worshiping at the altar of Catherine. Like, it turns into...
Isn't it fun there?
For your one woman show, you're singing. It's very, like it's cabaret. It's very fanciful. I mean, to me, it's very Sandra Bernhard. But
Love.
Was she an inspiration? And like, what other comedians did you kind of model yourself after?
I don't think I really knew anything about comedians. It was more that I grew up like a theater kid doing shows and stuff. And then I really knew very little about stand-up at all. And then when I moved to New York, I wanted to be like acting in musicals and stuff. And, that's very difficult. And thankfully, I started doing like improv classes at UCB, which was such a classic route back then, and met a bunch of people who were making their own material doing stand-up. And I would watch people do it. I was like, I think I could do this. So I started doing that, but then I missed the singing element. So I was like, what if I wrote songs? And then I put it all together. But yeah, I wish like I wasn't exposed to a lot. Like the only comedy I was exposed to growing up was like SNL. And I was like obsessed with like musical theater and pop music. So I feel like that kind of combination all.
Were you like a Spring Awakening or Rent person?
Obsessed with Spring Awakening. So
What
good.
other musicals like did you love, or like musical soundtracks were you super into?
Ooh, I mean, obviously Everything Sondheim is like my favorite. And yeah, I was obsessed with Spring Awakening. What else was I obsessed with? I mean, I was obsessed with Rent. Yeah, like I'm like, what are the hits? Like, what are the ones we love? Those like all,
Book
all
of Mormon
those.
has a great soundtrack.
I feel like that was a little after my time because I saw that like when I was in college, maybe I guess. But yeah, like lots of Sondheim, Stephen Schwartz. Wicked was obviously massive for me. Like I was in the 8th grade, like freaking out. Yeah, all that stuff.
What was the first concert you went to?
Oh my God, thank you for asking because that changed my life, and that was the Spice Girls.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine?
Which concert? What year was this?
I was 7, so it must have been 98, 99. And I saw them at my dad and his friends like took their daughters like as like a little group outing. And it was like life-changing.
Do you know what my first
in
concert
Houston.
was?
What?
Hootie and the Blowfish with
Wow.
with opening act Jewel.
No.
Yes.
Where was that?
Jones Beach on Long Island.
Oh, I've been to Jones Beach.
Who hasn't?
Oh my God, Jewel. I love Jewel.
She's amazing.
That's sick. Yeah, have you been to a concert recently? I'm trying to think. Like, do you go to concerts?
I saw Madonna at Barclays. That was the last like big arena show I went to.
That's so fun.
But
Was it amazing?
I'm going to see Sarah McLachlan. It's the 30th anniversary of Fumbling Towards Ecstasy. This may be before your time. Like you're looking at me a bit. You don't. You're looking at me a bit like talk to me about Taylor Swift.
Sarah McLachlan to me is just the Angel song.
Okay, let me tell you something. Because I know I want to talk to you. Okay, everyone out there who thinks Taylor Swift is like something.
Which I do.
Okay. Go listen to Fumbling Towards Ecstasy by Sarah McLachlan.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
Listen to Surfacing. Those two albums, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy and Surfacing. Listen to Ani Difranco, Living in Clip, which is her live album. And listen to, the last piece of this prescription is listen to When the Pawn by Fiona Apple.
I'm a big Fiona Apple.
Like, you're telling me that Taylor Swift music is better than Fiona Apple?
No, I didn't say that.
No, I don't mean you. I just mean like
the general you.
I mean the general public at large.
I think a lot of people, haven't been. A lot of people need the treatment that you have prescribed, and I was seeking treatment today, and I've already gotten it. I love my prescription. I can't wait to take it after I sign off.
You know, what treatment I prescribed Pat, and he still hasn't taken it.
Tell me.
I prescribed him that he needs to binge all 4 seasons of Felicity.
He hasn't?
No. Because I follow up with him. Like every 3 months I follow up with him. And he's like, I know I still have to. I'm like.
I started it, but I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh, you have to.
I have to?
It's only 4 years of college. It's not that hard.
You're right. I need to. You know what I just watched that's like the greatest TV I've seen in such a long time?
Oh.
Speaking of the Edinburgh Fringe, Baby Reindeer on Netflix.
Oh my God. I literally started it last night. I'm 3 episodes in and I love it.
Okay, Jess, it's so dark. So you've been warned. Like, I was sobbing, crying. It's extremely intense.
It's based on the true story of this comedian who's being stalked.
Yes, and then it's about so much more than that. And like, it's made so perfectly, and it's so well done, and it's devastating. It's only do it when you have like time after to process, because I was like wrecked by it. But it's so exquisite, and like Richard Gadd, the guy who created it, is such a genius, and highly recommend. It's just so nice to watch some TV that's really good, because so much of it sucks so bad.
Speaking of which, little peek behind the curtain. We were supposed to record this 2 weeks ago. And I, in the morning, I was like, hey, just confirming. And they were like, so sorry, we have to reschedule because Catherine is cast and filming Only Murders in the Building. I was like, true. I'm sorry. So this is huge. Can we say how many episodes you're going to be in?
I don't think we can say that, but I have been shooting. It's amazing. It's totally surreal. Everyone's so nice and cool. And I think it's going to be a really good season.
My main question about Only Murders in the Building.
Yes.
This is a deep lesbian cut.
Okay.
Were you directed or have you met, or is she even on set, my queen, Jamie Babbitt?
I have not. I have not crossed paths.
She directed the pilot and is like an executive producer, and I think still comes back to direct like an episode or 2 every season. We should be together, but unfortunately she's in.
Are you with someone?
Are
you looking?
I would love to be with someone. I mean, I'm not looking super hard, but if Jamie Babbitt, if that relationship ends, I'm ready. I know that you always wanted to like film something in New York. Has it lived up to that?
I feel so seen by your research. I feel so appreciated.
Well, I'm just a fan of the pot. Like, I just know.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, no, I did do a deep dive on the apartment. That's true.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's very surreal. It's like, it's just amazing to wake up and go to set and then come home, and I want to keep doing it forever.
You did audition for the lead in Hacks, ironically.
I did. I think like every comedian in New York went in for that.
Was it one of those things?
Yeah. I feel like every friend of mine I talked to was like, I'm going in for Hacks. Didn't pan out.
But look at you now.
I know. That would have been cool, but I don't think I'm actually right for that role. I think Hannah's much better suited.
She's perfect. And Pat wrote my favorite, I think the collective favorite episode, which is the lesbian cruise episode.
Oh, he's doing so good.
The new season of Hacks starts this week. I can't wait. Going back to your relationship, something that you talk about a lot on Seek Treatment is that like you want to be bisexual, or are you kind of like a non, or I mean, I'm just making this up. Like, are you kind of a non-practicing bisexual?
Yeah, I don't know how I identify. I definitely find myself attracted to women occasionally, but I'm just so obsessed with men that it hasn't been a big part of my life. That's
a big barrier to entry to being.
Do you know what I mean?
Gay. Yeah.
But as I'm sure as you've heard on the pod, we've had fun like experimenting with like threesomes and stuff, and like I've enjoyed that, and I'm definitely like sexually attracted to women, but I've never had like a crush on a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll be like, I'll see a woman and be like, oh my God, you're so pretty, like I want to kiss you. But I've never had a woman in my life who I'm like, oh my God, like I have butterflies, I have a crush. Not at least not in the same way that I do. Like the way I get about men is like psychotic. And maybe who knows?
I mean,
But for now,
have you ever watched The L Word?
I have love. I feel like my taste in women is more like femme, like more like someone who looks similar to me.
More
But
someone who looks similar to me.
isn't that fucked up? Yeah. Isn't that sad? Well, I've spent 32 years trying to like love how I look. So then when I see someone who looks like me, I'm like, okay, cute.
Last week, I was at Cafe Cluny,
I'm always there.
directly across from us. Like, could not miss. Like, literally, like, I was like sitting at the booth and like eating directly across. Kate Mara. Now seeing her in
That's such
person,
a good one. I can't imagine seeing her in person.
she's the most beautiful
Yeah.
celebrity I've ever seen in person.
She must be.
She
And she's
was
exquisite
there
on camera.
She was there because we stalked it because my friends identified. I'm like, is that like her boy? It seemed like they were on a date. I was just observing the way they were ordering. I'm like, I think they're on a date. And then my friend was like, no, that's her like gay. That he goes, no, that's a famous gay makeup artist. I'm like, how the fuck do you know this makeup? Pulls up his Instagram in like 0.2 seconds.
Amazing.
Yeah, but she was
Wow.
stunning. I'm not like that. I'm not usually like one to be like, oh my God, look how but it was she was striking.
She was a striking beauty.
Striking. And also it was like, oh my God, that is what wealth looks like.
Wow. Elegance.
Elegance.
So who's your celebrity crush?
I once told my friend my type looks like a bird, has a face like a bird.
That's amazing.
So like Kate Mara definitely falls in that
He definitely
category.
has that, like, she has that very, like, strong jaw, like, pointy features, like,
That's exactly what I like.
oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, cool.
And I love red
Totally.
hair. Like I love that. And I also love like wild hair. Even if it's not red, I love like a wild. Yeah.
A wild woman.
What you know what I love? I love a reformed party girl. I love somebody who's
Ooh.
sober that like used to be a drug addict.
Yes, that's a good look. I know what you mean.
I love that.
That energy.
I love a reformer
Like they've
party.
seen everything and they're unfazed.
They've seen everything, they've done everything, but now they're on my level that like they want to go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, because you're like doing yoga. You're like
Yes.
you're prioritizing your sleep.
But at least I'm turned on by that other stuff. Like I love
Yeah.
that they used to be like a meth head or whatever.
Of course, and that's beautiful. Shout out.
How did Club Cumming become your performance home? Like post Duplex, how did you land at Club
Oh
Cumming?
my God. Shout out to the Duplex. I love it.
You know Jennifer Lopez was there like
No.
last week.
That's
yes.
crazy.
No, my
That's
friend.
crazy.
My friend has two of my friends are at the Duplex like literally every week, and they're obsessed with J.Lo and like her new "This Is Me Now."
Yeah,
you know,
it's been an amazing.
or
moment
we're
for
doing
her.
is making fun of it. She's filming a movie in Hoboken, and somehow she winds up at the Duplex.
Right now. She's doing another movie. Oh my God.
Kiss of the Spider Woman. They right after they left, apparently J.Lo was there sitting under the photo of Elton John. How did we get on that? A Club Cumming.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well, Henry Kapersky, who
Yes.
played in my Netflix special years ago, I think he just got asked to play a gig and it was at Club Cumming and the club had just opened. And I had been talking to him. I was like, I really want to do a weekly show. And he was like, well, I just played at Alan Cumming's club. Like maybe they have a slot. And we just asked, we're like, can we do a weekly show? And I think they were like, do one, we'll see how it goes. And it went well. So then we snagged Wednesday nights. Like this was like 2017, 2018. And so I've been doing it ever since then. It used to be every week. And now, I mean, thankfully I'm like busy and I can't always be there, but I try whenever I'm in town to be doing Wednesday nights because it's amazing. It's the best vibe. It's a great place to try new material. I love having a venue where I can like have people come do my show. Like it's a good a chance to like kick back, socialize, have some drinks.
And you're about to go on this pretty big tour. Like you're touring the US and then you're going to be doing Europe.
I've been touring the show for a while now. I did the UK and then I've been on the US tour. I did Australia. I did New Zealand. Now I'm doing Paris, Berlin, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, Dublin, the Edinburgh Festival, and then London. So if you live in any of those places or know anyone who does, please send them, because I don't know if I know a single person in Paris who cares about me. So thank you for your help.
Here's my question for when you tour, because I know Jared's the way he does it. So he's
so great.
This man is married to Delta.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to know, like, when an artist, when a comedian, for example, goes on tour, is it like you get, okay, here is your fee, and then with that, do you go and book your own travel? And that way you're in control of the airline, the flight, the seat you're in. You're controlling all of that. And then you pick the hotel? Or do you opt to just have them put you... What?
I would never let someone else. I've learned the hard way. I would never let someone else book my travel. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay. I love that you're getting I love how emotional you're getting.
Well, it's like the best part of touring is like I get off on planning. Like I love planning because it like makes you feel like you're going to be like somewhat in control of the moment or a time or a place. I've always been a United girl, but now I'm getting some Delta points too because there's spots United doesn't go. So I do United or Delta. I always treat myself to a nice, but it is like they pay you whatever, and then usually, or sometimes they'll be like, here's $500 for travel. And I'm like, well, that's not enough to get there, so fuck off. But usually I'm just like, you know what? Touring's exhausting. I'm going to treat myself to a nice hotel, room service. I'm a luxurious woman, but there's plenty of people who are not as dumb as me and want to actually see the money they make come home with them. At this point, I'm like, am I fucking breaking even? It's crazy, but it's fun.
It is hard, 'cause I've worked with some musicians, and the one thing I've learned about the music industry is that nobody makes any money. And
it's so upsetting.
You're maybe breaking even, unless you are a huge name, you're breaking even. Period.
Yeah.
And it's all about the quote unquote tour, not quote unquote, I don't want to denigrate anything about it, but the touring more than anything, it's really a marketing strategy.
Interesting.
It's not a financial strategy.
Yes, I mean I am making money, but it's not a huge sum, and I would like to change that. I would like to make massive sums. So I'm manifesting that on your podcast.
You know what I see for you?
Tell me.
I see you being cast as Miranda's younger love interest in On Just Like That.
Oh my God, I'm honored. I would love to play that. Are they doing more?
They are, if you can believe it.
Okay, we'll send a good vibe.
And they get, like, Sada Ramirez is out. Like, they got rid of a couple of the newer cast members.
Okay, so we need some new.
So there's like
when they're shooting
fresh blood for a local New Yorker.
I would love to be a local. That would be totally surreal.
And they love a local hire. I can feel the chemistry already.
I'm claiming that energy as all the time. I'll like stumble upon these TikToks that are like, manifest this, type claim to, or type blah 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 to claim this, and all the comments like, I claim this energy, and I'm always like, claim.
I guess
I love all that shit.
You always ask on Seek Treatment, who were you? Who are you? Who do you want to be?
Oh, wow.
I mean, we talked about who were you. You were like an evangelical...
A church-going Jew.
A church-going Jew. And who are you now? I mean, so who are you now aside from cast member on Only Murders in the Building and future cast member on And Just Like That? Who are you emotionally now?
Emotionally, I'm grateful for every second that I'm alive. And I'm trying to be present.
And who do you want to be?
I want to be major megastar forever and never die. What about you?
Are you going to... Well, wait, hold on. Are you going to film the new special?
Yes.
Do you know where you're filming it?
At Gramercy Theater on June 4th.
Oh, this is like fully happening.
It's happening. I'm filming it because Netflix like isn't doing that stuff anymore. So I was like, I'm not going to self-finance it. So I was like, I'll pitch it elsewhere, and they're doing the whole thing, and it's going to be great.
Oh, that's incredible. And I saw that you are also going to be you're going to have a part in, Michelle Collins is playing Town Hall. And
isn't she the best
and
ever?
won't do the pod.
Really?
I don't know what I keep emailing and it's going into the I don't it's one of those things where I can tell it's not getting to her. It's just going into the ether. But
yeah, I don't know if she's very like on top of her emails. Do you know what I mean?
She does every fucking podcast but this one.
That's kooky. I'll see what I can dig up.
Okay.
I love her. But yeah, she's doing her show and I just saw her the other night and she's like, "Oh, come do a set." So I said I'd be honored.
Yeah, so maybe I'll see you there.
Oh, great.
I would love
please.
to see you there.
Okay, I would love to meet you in person.
Yes. And who do you want to be? You want to be the biggest star in the world. And would you live anywhere but New York? Like, would you ever live in LA?
No, I want to live in London. I just love it there.
What's your favorite neighborhood in London? I was just there earlier this month.
I mean, so many of the neighborhoods have merits. Like I spent a lot of time in West London because I have a friend who has a house there, so I stay with her. Like a Notting Hill moment would be obviously divine. But then there's like, Shoreditch, Hackney, like that's where all the cool sexies live. And then a lot of friends are moving south. Like Peckham is very like chic, cute, like who knows? You say where?
I stayed in Shoreditch.
Yeah, it's very
and it was very gay. It was very it felt like
fun.
It was like, oh, this is the Brooklyn of London.
Yeah. So I would live in LA for a job. Absolutely. I'd be honored to do that. I would love to live anywhere that will have me.
But what did you say you're filming?
Oh,
London?
just that I would love to film a movie in London. That's one of my other goals to manifest.
All right, we're putting that on the list. So we started out, you were talking about running. I have thought that like you look like more beautiful than ever in the past like 6 months or so.
Stop it. Thank you so much. That's so nice.
So you belong to Equinox where you don't go. Where you don't work out.
It's just
what is your health and fitness journey?
Well, I have been seeing a healer in New Zealand since January, and I actually am about to log on with her, and she is psychic, and we have been manifesting together, and it's really beautiful. So I talked to her. It's kind of like sounds like a joke, but it was cheaper than my therapy, so I've stopped doing that, and I've started to see my healer exclusively. And then I'm obsessed with getting my steps in. I'm obsessed with water and sleep, and I'm obsessed. And I eat garbage. I love junk food, and I love sleeping, and I love drinking alcohol, and that's my routine.
That sounds like a perfect recipe for
health,
wealth, and success.
I struggle. Like, I just love junk food, and I love having fun.
I can eat an entire bag of Goldfish crackers and then another bag of Wheat Thins and then maybe even some Tate's cookies after that, like after dinner, like fully.
Yeah, of course. And why shouldn't you?
And it's like sometimes it's what I look forward to from the minute I open my eyes in the morning.
Of course. But you know what? But those are dry foods. I prefer wet foods.
Like what?
Like I need like sauces. Like I'm always wanting like a full hearty meal. Like I don't like snacks. I like a full meal.
I have never heard this expression before, dry foods versus wet foods. Only in reference to like dog food.
We're all animals.
In which my dog, I give her a mix of wet and dry. But this is fast. No,
who's your dog? Can I see her?
My dog she's sleeping right over there. Okay. It's going to be hard to
What kind is she? I really want a dog.
Okay, so you're going to love this. You were a guest on Hannah Berner's podcast.
Oh my God, don't you love her?
I love her. In that episode, the two of you happened to be talking. You refer to them as, quote, hairy chihuahuas. Do you remember this?
No. I don't remember anything I say.
Okay, you literally referring to a certain breed of dog called a, quote, hairy chihuahua. They're in fact called long-haired chihuahuas.
Yeah, that's what you have?
That's what I have.
Oh, you'll have to send me an image because I really love those.
Piper.
What color?
She's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Imagine me in dog form, small dog form.
Oh, so sweet.
She's white and brown.
So cute.
And her name is Piper Chapman, named after Orange is the New Black.
Oh my God, amazing. How long have you had her?
She usually doesn't talk about her age.
Amazing.
So, all right.
Well, shout out to Piper.
Shout out to Piper. Catherine Cohen.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for such thoughtful questions. It was so nice chatting with you.
I'm excited to see you at upcoming gigs.
Yes, please.
And any final thoughts before you jump on with your healer?
Just live, laugh, love. Be grateful for every moment, and every moment is all we have. And isn't that cool?
And you're going to listen to Sarah McLachlan fumbling towards ecstasy.
Oh my God. Yes, I have my prescription. Okay, I'm opening my Spotify. Fumbling. And what was the second one?
Surfacing.
Okay. And then the Anna Difranco.
Living in Clip. That's a good entry point because it's like live greatest hits. And Fiona, it seems like you're on the right path.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jess.
This is so much fun.
This is so fun. Oh my God. I'm adding this to my playlist. Okay, incredible. Okay, well, awesome. I'm sure we'll cross paths in real life soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Everyone, please follow me, JessXNYC, on Instagram. Go over to the YouTube channel, Hot Takes and Deep Dives. Throw in my name. All of these interviews are available on YouTube to watch, and we will see you soon.